Hey there, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Travis Bowman. I'm an international award-winning fingerstyle guitar player. And we've got the Emerald Virtuo to talk about today. Now, this is an amazing, amazing guitar, and it's a beautiful, gorgeous guitar as well. I mean, check out that wooden veneer against this entire carbon fiber body there. This is such an amazing instrument, and I'm really excited to talk about it today. So now there's going to be several things that make this guitar stand out from the rest of them. Mainly your inputs. There's several different inputs on this guitar that's going to allow you to create a variety of different and unique sounds. As you can see, we've got quite a bit going on the front of this guitar. We've got 4 knobs and we've got 2 switches there, and they all do various things that's going to allow you to get a very unique tone out of this instrument. You've only got 2 inputs on the back, and there's your battery bay door right there. You've got your 1/4 inch going in for your guitar, and you've got this very special pickup there. That's going to be your 13-pin MIDI input. So is this a MIDI guitar? I guess you could say that, but what I would think this guitar would most closely resemble is what's called a multi-guitar, meaning that you've got several different pickup systems, and as a result, you can get several sounds of different guitars all in one package. Now, the cool thing about this instrument is that the entire body and neck is completely made out of carbon fiber. In fact, the only thing that isn't carbon fiber is going to be your hardware, including your tuners and the bridge and some stuff like that. First things first, these 2 pickups here, these are actually Fishman Fluence pickups, and these have the ability to be both single coil or humbuckers with the coil tap. So you just lift the knob up, and there you've got your coil split, and you can press it back down, and there you've got your humbuckers. You've got a dedicated volume knob just for your electric guitar pickups, and you've also got a tone knob just for these pickups here, and you've got your pickup selector switch, your 3-way pickup selector switch. So thus far, we haven't really gone outside of your typical electric guitar. I mean, a Les Paul or an SG, something like that, it's going to be very similar to this as far as the basics go. And we've also got piezo pickups here for your acoustic sounds. That's right, so this guitar is also going to be capable of having that wonderful piezo acoustic sound as well. This is a Ghost piezo pickup system, and we've got individual sensors in here for each string. So that's going to be a very, very accurate sound that you're going to get out of this, because you've got a pickup essentially for each string that you have in this instrument. So you've got a volume knob just for that piezo system there. And last but not least, down here you've got your volume for your MIDI sounds, and that's where this 13-pin input comes into play. So let's talk about that 13-pin input. So I am not a MIDI guy. I'm a guitar player, specifically an acoustic guitar player. So this is going to take a little bit of getting used to if you're not a MIDI guy yourself. Now, typically, when you're talking about MIDI, you'll have like a 5 or 6-pin input, I think. This one has 13, and this is actually a proprietary thing from Boss and Roland. It's called the GK pickup system, and they actually use a GK pickup. Like I said, it's a proprietary thing. It's a detachable pickup that you can actually take and put on your electric guitar and slide the little sensor underneath your strings next to your existing pickups on that guitar. However, the Emerald Virtuo has that pickup system built into the instrument, so there's no need to buy an extra pickup. However, we are still using that 13-pin input. So what are we going to do with that? Because we can't really just plug that into an interface. We have to have something else. And that's where the Boss SY1000 comes into play. This is a extraordinary pedal here. You've got an input for your guitar, as well as that 13-pin MIDI input there. So this is actually quite a bit of fun with the Emerald Virtuo. You can plug this in, and you can combine your guitar signal with the MIDI signal, and you can mix and match. You can even go stereo out on this thing. It's a tinkerer's delight, to say the least. I've had so much fun going through and making my own patches and customizing the pre-existing preset patches on here. I've spent several months doing that, and it's definitely a lot of fun. So this guitar alone, we've got essentially 4 pickup systems that we're dealing with here, because we've got the humbucking pickups that can be split into single coils, and we've got our acoustic piezo system and our MIDI signal. So we've got 4 different instruments that we can kind of mix and match and blend all together. So, I mean, we could have an acoustic signal and have just a little bit of that magnetic on top of it to give it a little bit more shine. And then we can have our MIDI signal on top of that to give us that extra little boost and that extra little flavor to make our playing sound that much more unique. Now, me personally, I'm not an electric guitar player. I never really have been. I'm the acoustic fingerstyle guy that plays on all these crazy altered tunings and everything. That being said, this guitar was extremely appealing to me, and it still is. I've had it for months and months now, and I still have a hard time putting it down. There's only so many different sounds you can get out of an acoustic guitar, you know, whether it's plugged in or just acoustically. And it sounds great if you have a guitar with really good tone woods and all that stuff, but you're very limited. And that's why the Virtuo sounded so appealing to me, is that I can still play the guitar the same way that I've always played it, fingerstyle guitar, but I can have such a wide variety of different sounds that I didn't have access to before. Now, for me personally, I'm definitely going to be using this to try to emulate some of those classic video game sounds, like we're talking 8-bit up to 16-bit video game sounds on the original Nintendo, the Sega Master System, all that sort of stuff. That's what's really kind of interested me in this. And I've created a couple of custom patches that I think are pretty close to those original old school systems. So what I'd like to do now is plug this guitar in, and we're going to sample the different sounds that you can get and just jam a couple of those presets, and then I'll show you some of those custom presets that I've made myself. Okay, so let's talk about the body of this guitar itself. So Emerald prides themselves on being an acoustic guitar company. They always have. They've always made carbon fiber acoustic instruments, and this one's no different. It's still technically an acoustic body. I guess you would call it a hollow body here. It's really well designed. I don't know how well it's going to show up on camera here, but you can kind of see you've actually got some bevels here on the back. You've got one right here that hugs against your chest really nicely. And because this is technically an acoustic guitar, you can put acoustic strings on it and it'll sound great. Running through this piezo pickup system, it does sound really good for an acoustic guitar of this size. It's got a lot of really good bass response in that aspect. One thing to note about that, in relation to the SY1000 to get those 13-pin MIDI sounds, the acoustic strings will work. I have experimented with that. They actually do work because that MIDI pickup system is actually using this Ghost piezo pickup system as well. So you're getting your acoustic sound out of this and you're getting your MIDI sound out of this pickup here. But unfortunately, the regular electric guitar pickups aren't going to work very well with that acoustic string at all. So just be mindful of that. And like I said before, we've got completely carbon fiber body and neck. We've got some Goto 510 tuners on there. Those are some of the best tuners that you can buy for a guitar. You'll never have any trouble keeping this guitar up to pitch with those tuners on there. And I love the kind of black chrome hardware that we've got going on with this combination. You'll notice on the front that doesn't look very carbon fiber at all, and of course not. That's actually a wooden veneer. The great thing about Emerald guitars is that they offer so much personality and customization in their build. Meaning you can get on their website and buy a guitar that's already made, or if you're feeling frisky, you can get on their website and check out the 3D Builder. This is an amazing tool that they've created on their website. It's exactly what it sounds like. You can start from scratch. You just have a plain vanilla, carbon fiber body, and you can choose from all sorts of these different veneers, the colors of those veneers, the colors of the hardware, and you can even add some bling with some inlay on the fretboard. It's really fun, really addictive. So I warn you before you head to that website, you might spend an hour or two on there just browsing through all the different options that they have. I mean, I can't even imagine how many different possibilities there are for different builds that you can make on that website. It's so much fun though. So I'm sure one thing that you've noticed about this guitar elephant in the room is that there's no sound hole where a normal acoustic guitar would have a sound hole. Emerald tends to do this quite a bit with all their builds. They have the sound hole kind of up towards the player a little bit, and a lot of boutique guitar makers will do this. Especially for acoustic guitars, they'll have the regular sound hole, and then they'll have what's called a sound port on the side of the guitar, and that's of course designed to shoot up at the player, which is really nice. But Emerald has kind of gone all the way with this, and they've done away with the regular sound hole, and they've kind of combined the two. And the way that it's cut, it's kind of designed to shoot up and out of one very large sound hole, and it works really well. I've had no issues with it whatsoever. I think it sounds great, and it projects really well too. It's a really cool design that they've used for quite a while now. And I love the neck on this thing. I love how it's really thin. It's not really chunky back here. Very much like an electric guitar, but with all the features of both an electric and an acoustic guitar. It's really bizarre, but it's so cool. One other thing I'd like to mention about the body of this guitar is something really nifty. They didn't have to do this, but I'm so glad that they did. We've got an access plate. I don't know if you can see that. There it is. On the back of this guitar, you've got an access plate that's held together by 4 screws, and it is flush with the rest of the body. And of course, the reason for adding that is to get access to your electronics on the inside of the guitar. You've got your battery access door back here when it's time to change that 9-volt battery. But they've added access to get inside of the guitar in case you want to make any modifications, or if anything goes wrong in the future, you'll have that easy access to get in there to access those electronics, which is a really thoughtful thing that they did there, because unlike any other acoustic guitar, it's not going to be too easy to get inside side of this guitar. I mean, I'm barely here at the neck pickup, and I don't know if I can go too much further, but luckily I don't have to, thanks to this access plate on the back of the guitar. So there we have the Emerald Virtuo. As you can see, it is quite a powerhouse of a guitar. It's one of those scary things where it's like a guitar to end all guitars. You've got so many different options of different tones and sounds that you can get out of this instrument. It's really mind-blowing just how vast the possibilities are for different tones and sounds in this guitar. And it's at your fingertips too. That's the coolest part about it, is that, you know, you can mess with the pedal, or you can have it sitting right here and you can dial in stuff, or you can get down here and dial stuff in, but don't forget that you've got so much control right here at your fingertips too. I mean, you can decide, okay, I want just a little bit of that MIDI sound here and I want to go all electric, or I want to have a really great acoustic sound for one of my acoustic gigs, but I also want to turn up and have a little bit of this this magnetic pickup too. And I forgot to mention the other selector switch here. In addition to this one, which is your three-way selector switch for your magnetic pickup, we've got a selector switch to switch between which pickups you want to be active. So you can have it in the center to have, you know, all your pickups be activated, or you can go left or right to just select one at a time. So there's so much you can do with this guitar. It's incredible. It's really an amazing instrument. I'm super glad to have it in my arsenal. It's just going to expand the creativity, and it's going to help me create music that's going to sound so different and so unique. And most importantly, it's music that I'm hearing inside my head that I can finally bring to life, and it's going to be so much different than just your regular acoustic guitar stuff. I've been trying to think of some cons about this guitar, and I'm having a really difficult time. Really, the only thing negative I can say is a personal issue for myself, and it's the way that I play the guitar. You know, I'm a fingerstyle guitar player, so I'm used to having that large clearance of a acoustic guitar underneath my right arm while I'm playing, and I'm obviously not going to get that with this guitar because it is a hybrid. It's both an acoustic and electric guitar, but as far as the body style, it's leaning more towards an electric guitar. So playing it fingerstyle over a long period of time, you do start to feel it a little bit on your right side. But that's okay. I mean, that's no fault of the guitar, and it's no fault of Emerald's. They didn't design it just for me, right? I mean, it's an electric guitar, and it functions as that perfectly. But that being said, it's a great guitar designed for multiple different play styles. It's just gonna take some getting used to for me to be able to play this fingerstyle for long periods of time. And I think that's gonna do it for this Emerald Virtuo review. I mean, it's a fantastic guitar. You guys let me know what you think about it. If you have any questions, comments, go ahead and put that in the comments section below. Let's have a discussion about this guitar. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that next video that's coming out very, very soon. And if you're interested in guitar lessons or learning even some little fingerstyle tips and tricks, check out my Patreon account. Thanks again to Emerald Guitars, and I'll catch you guys next time. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.